Taxi! Take me to Charlotte. I'm done with this country. How will somebody be working and all your money will be going on bills? You will not even have $100 to save. Nobody told me this part about America. Oh. When you go on social media, you will see people living flashy life. And those flashy life, you will not even know that it's credit card though that is helping their life. It is sick small like this. You go to the hospital, they will give you a bill of $5,000, $10, $10,000. Your money is gone. You have an issue with your car. They will be charging you $10,000. Everything in America is expensive. Nobody told me about this part about America. Oh. They say America is good. America is all rosy. Now lie. Now while I want kilos for this country. You walk. $100 you cannot save. I am done with this country. Children, you people should come. Oh. We are done. Oh. Let's go.
The message from these African immigrants is about the reality of earning money but still feeling like you can't get ahead. They work, they pay rent, mortgage, pay food, handle transportation, take care of their children, and somehow there's barely anything left to save. That can make people question whether all the hard work is actually giving them the little they expected. What do you think? Is this simply one person's emotional reaction, or are more Americans genuinely feeling the same way? Because truth be told, there are many African immigrants who are actually doing well in America. Like there are some clips we are about to watch now. You'll see how some have contrary opinions to what we just watched. There are actually some who are actually doing well for themselves. And after watching this clip, we'll come back, and after this clip, I want to know your opinion concerning this.
In part 1, we began the journey meeting African immigrants who left their little communities, villages and cities around the African continent, moved abroad to turn their dreams into success, chasing bigger opportunities. But that was only the beginning. In part 2, we extended the map, traveling to new cities, new industries where African excellence is quietly reshaping local economies and culture.
People actually jump out to go look for jobs, but we are here creating jobs.
In Los Angeles, Ghanaian Dr. Obeng sets the standard in plastic surgery.
Born and raised in Ghana, and I love what I do as a plastic surgeon. I like to do surgeries nobody can do, so I'm known to do complex reconstruction.
In Vermont, Faith Umba breaks ceiling into the auto industry, becoming the first and only African to own a Toyota Ford dealership.
I am a Nigerian. I'm the owner of Fix Toyota Ford in Westminster, Vermont.
In Houston, Kennedy is dominating the construction industry and Dami closing multi-million-dollar listings yearly.
I've sold over $60 million so far. Respectfully and humbly, I'm 1% of the 1%.
The US is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. It's an immigrant country founded by immigrants. I came from Nigeria, I became a US citizen. I came from Nigeria, I'm building houses in the US.
They aren't just in business, they are penetrating into politics to help shape policies in America.
My name is Rep. Solomon Adesanya. I represent the 43rd District in the state of Georgia.
When I came here 20 years ago, being African was almost like a stain. People weren't proud to be African.
My name is Dr. Michael Kwame Obeng, born and raised in Ghana, and I love what I do as a plastic surgeon.
Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, known for wealth, but also the cosmetic capital of America.
There are more plastic surgeons in Beverly Hills than the whole continent of Africa.
In this episode, I'll spend 24 hours with Dr. Michael Obeng.
I was the youngest chief of plastic surgery at the age of 33, making about $500,000.
Today, he's one of the most sought-after black plastic surgeons, not just in Beverly Hills, but across the entire United States. My first encounter with him was through this viral interview on School of Hard Knocks.
So, what was the most amount of money that you've made in a single year?
$9 million.
$9 million?
Me coming here was a miracle. That's a movie of its own. If I was in Ghana, I don't think I would be a doctor. And when I came here, I knew I was going to make it.
I'll follow him through a full day, from consultation to the operating room, to understand how a boy from the continent of Africa became a surgeon, to celebrities and the world's most unfortunate patients.
It's been around me for a few days. I like to do surgeries nobody can do. So I'm known to do complex reconstruction.
He's now earning a fortune and living the American dream, even as a proud African.
I knew that I didn't want to live in Ghana. We grew up, we didn't have a toothbrush. We didn't have toilet. I mean, everybody goes in the same pot. And fast forward 33 years later, here am I.
It's just unbelievable. Somebody who grew up wiping their butt with corn husks, and now he's driving around in Beverly Hills in a Rolls Royce.
In this new series, I'll be traveling across America and Canada, meeting successful Africans building businesses in North America. And this is one of the many stories of an African man changing the narrative far away from home.
I'm Chaz Ogbu, CEO and co-owner of The Continent, one of the biggest West African restaurants in the entire United States of America. Let me take you into the continent real quick. Let's go. This is our private dining area. We usually rent this place out to like corporate offices. People use it for weddings as well and just birthdays. It has its own private bar and it has its own restroom. And then on this side, this is the much bigger area right here. So we have another bar right here. We usually do have happy hours. So that's why you see a few people just sitting and enjoying themselves. Right. This is our main dining. Sorry guys about the camera. Is that all right? How was the food so far? Absolutely. Enjoy yourselves. Yeah, so this is the 200. We call this the 200 right here. So this is like the main dining. And then we also have an upper dining. Come on, I'll show you real quick. This is the upper dining. So we also use this place for private events as well. It is a 7,200 square footage restaurant. Wow. So it is pretty big. Okay. Come on, I'll take you to the kitchen. Okay, you guys want to see the kitchen? Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Okay. All right. So when you come into the kitchen, I could be way more blessed than have my mom come in here. Oh my God, that is so nice. My mom comes in here. That's my mom right there. You know, interesting part about this is she was going to actually open a restaurant when we were in Nigeria before she went into a ghastly motor accident. So we had to bring her here. How many people you got working for you now? 71. And then when you come out here, you're back to the dining space. Nice. Okay, nice flow. Dining space. Yeah. You know, and then we also have this area right here that people like to book out as well. So you see, this place can do at least 40 to 50 people seated as well. Nice. Yes, sir. And that's the continent for you. That's how we do it right here.
Yo, you know why immigrants are so successful in America? Because we don't complain and we have nothing to lose. All we gotta do is just hustle, get the money, and save up the money. That's why I dropped this car right here. See this car right here? It's a Nissan. I've been driving this car since high school, you know what I'm saying? So you already know, and this is my other car. This is my girlfriend's car too, you know what I'm saying? She dropped this BMW because she's American and she wanna be a good robot, you know what I'm saying? I did save up all my money and bought this right here, you know what I'm saying? This is what I've been buying, you know what I mean? It's not actually bad at 21 years old, so you get the point.
There's data showing African immigrants, specifically Nigerians, are among some of the most educated and highest earning groups in America. And people see that and think, what is their secret? The secret is where they come from. When you grow up somewhere without reliable electricity, without stable infrastructure, without a system that actually works for you, and then you land in America, you see it differently. You see a country where the internet works, where you can start a business without bribing 7 different people, where a good idea plus hard work actually has a real shot. Americans who grew up here don't see that. Not because they are lazy or anything, but because you don't notice the water until you've been thirsty. So the immigrants isn't working harder because of some special gene. They are working harder because they are doing the math that most people born here never have to. They are looking at every advantage this country has to offer and thinking, I did not leave everything behind. What is this? That's why the numbers look the way they do. Immigrants are among some of the most highest earners in this country, not in spite of where they came from, but because of it. You don't take for granted what you know life looks like without it.
So there's a conversation that keeps popping up online, and it always sounds the same. Africans come to America, get degrees, become doctors, engineers, and lawyers. They build businesses. They buy homes. They hustle. And then somebody says, why can't African Americans do the same thing? You all have been here all this time. You've had grants, loans, scholarships, opportunities. What are you doing? And then the other side fires back and says, hold on. Immigrants get opportunities we don't get. The system treats them differently. And just like that, we're in a fight. But before we pick sides, let's slow this down a bit, because there are facts here, and then there are some assumptions as well. So, first fact, many African immigrants in the United States are highly educated. Nigerians, Ghanaians, Kenyans. Consensus data shows some of the highest degree attainment rates in the country. That's real. But what doesn't quite get said out loud, immigration, at least to the US, is very selective. You don't randomly show up in America on a student visa or a skilled worker visa. You qualify. You're vetted. You often already have an education, English proficiency, financial backing, or professional credentials before you land. So we're not comparing average populations here. We're comparing a pre-selected group of high achievers to a population whose history in this country began with enslavement. That's not really a fair baseline. Now let's deal with the other claim. Are immigrants getting special grants or free money that African Americans can't access? Broadly speaking, no. Federal aid like Pell Grants and student loans are available to citizens and eligible non-citizens. In many cases, new immigrants don't even qualify for certain benefits immediately. Undocumented immigrants definitely don't. So the idea that there's some secret pipeline of government money just flowing to African immigrants over Black Americans doesn't hold up under policy reality. But here's where it gets a bit deeper. African Americans aren't just Americans who didn't try. We are descendants of people who were legally blocked from building generational wealth for centuries. Slavery, black codes, Jim Crow, redlining, exclusion from home loans, underfunded schools, mass incarceration. And if you think about it, that's not even ancient history. Redlining maps existed into the late 60s. Some of your grandparents, definitely my grandparents, were directly affected by that. You can't compare outcomes without comparing starting lines. Now, here is the uncomfortable truth on the other side. Some African immigrant communities place extreme emphasis on professional careers. Doctor, engineer, lawyer, nurse. Failure is not an option. The cultural pressures produce results. But culture doesn't form in a vacuum. African Americans were historically pushed into labor pipelines, not professional pipelines. When you're locked out of universities for generations, your economic patterns evolve differently. That's not laziness. That's structural shaping. And then there's the psychological layer that nobody wants to talk about. Many African immigrants arrive with intact cultural identity. They know their tribe, their language, their lineage. African Americans had that violently stripped away. That identity disruption truly matters. Confidence, community cohesion, social networks, those things compound over time. Now here's the part that truly bothers me personally. Once you're in America, the police officer doesn't ask if you're from Ghana or Chicago before making assumptions. The broader society doesn't distinguish as much as we do. So while we're arguing about who works harder, we're both navigating the same racial perception system. And if you ask me, that's where the real questions live. Why are we even fighting each other over who deserves more credit? Instead of asking why two groups with shared ancestry were shaped so differently by history and policy. Because here's what I see. Immigration selection bias plus American racial history equals a comparison that was never built to be fair in the first place. And when that comparison gets weaponized, it becomes a political tool. One group made it, so systemic racism must not be true. That argument sounds clean, but it ignores centuries of accumulated disadvantage. At the same time, we also can't ignore agency, discipline, education, cultural expectations. Those matter too. This isn't about making excuses. It's about understanding context. So if I can get back to my original point, if Africans succeed in America, that's something to be celebrated. If African Americans succeed despite centuries of systemic barriers, that is something to respect by all. But turning this into a competition, that's just a distraction. The real conversation isn't who works harder. It's what systems shaped each other differently. And what do we do about it now? Because if we normalize comparing outcomes without comparing history, we keep arguing in this vicious cycle. And the structure that shaped both experiences will stay untouched.
Stories like this are a reminder that success can come from anywhere. These African immigrants didn't just move to America looking for a better life. They built businesses, created opportunities, entered influential spaces, and showed what is possible when determination meets opportunity. Of course, every immigrant journey is different, and behind every successful story are years of sacrifice, risk, setbacks, and hard work. But I believe your story can inspire many Africans around the world who are also dreaming of building something meaningful for themselves. So I want to hear from you. What do you think about this African success story in America? Do you think African immigrants are getting the recognition they deserve? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if this is your first time joining, please make sure you subscribe, you like, and you share this video. See you in the next one. Bye bye.